Good evening, Cowboys fans. This is B-Bird Cowboys coming back at you again with another show. It's been a while. Had a lot of things going on this week, but a lot of things have happened in Cowboy land. So just wanted to catch y'all up with my opinions on some of these things. I was able to get on a couple of people's shows, Skies, I can't remember who else show I was on, Angry's show. I guess before the Micah Parsons trade broke, I think it was, but I'm here now to give you my opinion on the Micah Parsons trade. I felt that coming. I think they came to a point to where it was no turning back. Again, Micah is a different. He's a different breed than say CD and Dak Prescott were. You know, CD did good by staying out of camp. And I heard somebody else say this too. I think it was Boss Today. I can't remember who it was. But when they noticed that Micah did not want to miss any paychecks because he was at camp, they knew they kind of had him. So, all money ain't good money. I actually posted that in one of them comments today. And that's right. Sometimes you have to give up a little bit of money in the short term to get what you want in the long term, to have a more firm ground in your negotiating. So I think he wasn't willing to give that up, and he got frustrated and allowed his frustration to be shown. We don't know. Maybe CD was frustrated last year, but he wasn't at camp, right? So he wasn't able to see that. Or we weren't able to see the frustration. So it was a good thing keeping him away. I hope some other players have learned that also. There's two sides to this trade. One of them is Micah's getting $47 million a year. I think it's over a 4-year deal. 136 million guaranteed. And that is exactly what he's supposed to get. I always think that you'll work when somebody's willing to pay you. And Green Bay is willing to pay him $47 million. So that's what his worth is. I don't care what anybody else says. Some people might say, well, it's overvalued. That's way too much. Whatever you think, whatever one person thinks the value is, another person may think it's more. So whatever the other person think it is, then that's what it is. Whatever they're willing to pay is what it is. And Green Bay is willing to pay $47 million. So, more props to Micah. I actually see two things with this. I didn't like the way the Joneses handled this whole thing. To be honest with you, I never saw the other side of this. You're supposed to always talk to an agent. You know the protocol. When they got Bland signed today, they went through his agent the same way. Nobody's making a point about that. But they handled it the wrong way. You got one of the best players in the NFL. The cost of doing business is when that guy is one of the best players in the NFL, you got to pay him when his contract comes up. And that's just what it is. They weren't willing to do that. And maybe they just didn't have the money to do that, to be totally honest with you. That might be why Jerry had him at maybe, I don't know what it was, $40 million or whatever initially. And he wanted to stay to that because that was his price range as far as being able to afford him under the cap. So I think it's two things to this. I'm not necessarily, I like Clark, but it may be 2 years until we're competing. I mean, Benny's 32 years old. I mean, he can help us right now. I just don't know. I like the two draft picks, which, probably going to be high draft picks. You already got a good Green Bay team. Now they get a standout pass rusher on one side. They already had Rashawn Gary on the other side. So they got bookend guys there. So it's going to be interesting to see where they land. Trading him to Green Bay, I wasn't really feeling it. They've had our numbers. They've been our bugaboo. Them and San Fran has caused us a lot of, in the history of our organization, they've caused us a lot of headaches. So I wasn't a fan of trading him there. And I know Jerry really wanted to avoid the NFC East, but I probably would have tried to avoid the NFC altogether, put him over at Cincinnati or Pittsburgh or, just Chargers or somewhere like that, instead of, somebody that we may have to see not only in the season, which we will in week 4, but maybe even in the playoffs too. So I definitely wouldn't want to do that. But we don't know what options were out there. It may not have been a lot of takers at this point in time. It is late in the game, put it that way, for this trade. So them getting 2 first, I like that part. Clark, I think he's a good player. He's going to be an addition, upgrade, I think, at the one tech, and give us a good rotation at the one tech. So we'll just see how that goes. This could possibly work out good for the Cowboys. I think when the Cowboys wanted to sign Randy Gregory and they didn't, it was really a blessing in disguise. It wasn't that they went out and said, hey, we don't think this guy's worth it. They wanted to sign him, but at the end, some details caused them not to sign him. And it actually turned out good because Randy Gregory's career took a downturn from that point on. So they dodged a bullet, but it wasn't because necessarily their sharpness as a GM and front office personnel. It was more or less than, sometimes you do the wrong thing and it comes up right. So this could be one of those situations where they do the wrong thing, but it comes up right. So I'm not saying, because if you look at our defensive end room, it is our deepest room. I mean, we've acquired a lot of people that can get to the passer, maybe not on the level of a Micah Parsons, but they can get to the passer. So, if we get if everybody else steps up and we get the similar production as last year, and we get a push from the inside on the run, and just to be honest with you, I was lukewarm on Micah anyway. I think he's a great, outstanding pass rusher, but I think sometimes he was hunting sacks, and it would kind of get him out of position to play the run or play the contain. He'd lose contain. And I think if we get some more solid people outside, they can still rush the passer, but keep lane integrity, keep everything on the inside as a defensive end. I think that would help us out a lot. One thing that's gonna, we got to watch Diggs and see when he comes back, because he's going to be a major contributor. Because maybe if he can cover like he did in 2022, similar to that, then we'll have another tick, maybe not a whole second, but you get a defensive ends and the line a little bit more time to get to the quarterback. So hopefully that transpires, and we'll just see where we go from here in that category. So my overall take is that it wasn't handled properly by the Joneses. Micah got traded. Micah got what he deserved, but that doesn't mean at the end of the day, as Cowboy fans, it is a possibility if everything falls right, this thing can, turn out good for us. Going on to the Bland signing today, I kind of could have predicted this, because when Zeke was holding out, they signed Jalen Smith. After Amari Cooper got traded, they signed Gallup. And now they're signing Bland after the Micah Parsons fiasco. And I think it's more of a, hey, look, y'all, hey, it's not us. It's the ones that's holding out. They the one, that's the problem. Look at us. We're signing guys. Look what we did. We signed Jalen, and Zeke's holding out. Hey, yeah, we traded Amari, but look what we did over here. We signed Gallup. So we're solidified there. And now they're doing the same thing. I would have rather Tyler Smith be signed. I would have felt much better about that. That's more of a mega deal than what they did do. Bland's a good corner. I wouldn't say great. He's not Diggs at his best, right? He's not shutting down Justin Jefferson, Chase, the kid from Washington twice, Cooper Kupp. He's not doing that in one season. And that's what Diggs at his best did. So, I remember he had trouble with DK Metcalf that one night. They had to swap Gilmore over to him, to be totally honest with you, because he was getting eaten. So we'll just see. That's just, he will go after the ball. He hunts the ball. He can cover. But we'll just see how this works out. Hopefully it works out well, signing them early. This is the way you're supposed to sign your players. If you know you have a franchise player that's going to be around, that's going to be in your mind, part of the winning of the team, well, why wait till we get to the end to sign him? It's just going to cost more. Get ahead of it, sign him early to a contract. Let's just think if he would have signed Micah, say we would have went to Micah last year, might be paying $35 million for him. If we'd have signed Dak, it wouldn't have been a $60 million contract. If we'd have signed CD early, it wouldn't have been a $32 million contract or whatever CD's making. So you got to know the players, and that's part of, Jerry always says, well, we need more evidence. Some of these guys, if you're a good GM, you know what you see out there. They don't trust their eyes. That's no different than a quarterback that has to wait till a guy's wide open, then throw it to him. It's too late at that point in time. You have to anticipate what these guys are going to be. That's what a good GM, a personnel guy does. He can anticipate. But since they didn't come through the proper protocols for being football guys, they don't know it. And so they can't do it. They need way more evidence than other people do. And that's why they hold out. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, because I heard some content creators talking about this today, and it was Boss, and I definitely is not a going at Boss. But Boss said, and what he said was right. I can't remember who the reporter was, but he said that, hey, the salary cap is real. And he said, if you kick the can down the road, the can kicks back. So my question would be, well, if the salary cap's real and the can kicks back, what's Philadelphia doing different than the Cowboys? And so I did look it up, and forgive me, I don't have the ability or know how to put this up and show it to y'all. But it says cap manipulation. This is Philadelphia Eagles. My question was, how can the Eagles sign so many players? And one of the topics is salary cap manipulation. I'll read this to you. It says the Eagles convert a portion of a player's base salary or roster bonus into a signing bonus, paying the player the money up front, spreading the cap hit over the life of the contract, which could be up to 5 future years. Void years is another one. By adding void years to a contract, the team can push the cap charges into the future, creating immediate cap space and effectively borrowing from the future to spend now. Then it has dead cap. While the Eagles often generate a large amount of dead cap for these maneuvers, they also generate significant cap space from them, allowing them to make necessary roster moves. Okay, so the issue here is that what Boss said is right. The salary cap is real. The problem is that you can't keep building for the future and winning today. So what they're doing is Philadelphia is saying, yes, we know what we're doing. We're pushing everything to 29. But in keeping the Hurts, the A.J. Browns, and the Devontae Smiths and other guys' salary cap hit low, we can assemble the best team at this point in time. Maybe in the next 3 or 4 years, we can win 2 to 3 Super Bowls by doing this. Will we have to pay for it in 2029? Maybe, but maybe not to the extent that other people think, because the salary cap is going up every year. We don't know what it's going to be in 2029. So you can't look at the salary cap today and say, boy, in 2029, they're going to have to. People have been preying on Philadelphia's downfall, the Rams' downfall, because of the way they do business. They've been doing that over the last 4 or 5 years. All they've been doing is saying, hey, y'all can sit on your hands and try to organically draft a team that's going to come together with all the ages and everything, and it's going to miraculously come together. Or you can look and say, hey, I got this 25-year-old guy here. I got this 23-year-old guy here. I got this 20. So let me go and trade for some guys that can win right now. And let's get this thing going instead of waiting and drafting a 21-year-old guy and waiting on him to mature. But by that time, your 25-year-old guys are 30-year-old guys. So at some point in time, you have to go all in. The issue is that the Cowboys are doing this thing that's trying to sustain what they have. And they're running it like a business. It's okay to run a business that way when you're trying to be in business for 25 to 30 years. Sustainability is it. But this is a competition where you have to try to win. You have to try to be better. Being number one is what matters. And for that, you have to take chances. Let's go to Green Bay. Green Bay has a new president. The GM has been there for a while, right? Not for too long, but he has 2 years left on his contract. The GM knows that, hey, I got a new president. This is not the guy that brought me in. He is not loyal to me. So only thing that's loyal is me winning. So what do I need to do? let's go talk to the Cowboys about Micah Parsons. So they go talk to the Cowboys about Micah Parsons. They make the trade. Now, while some may say, hey, they paid too much or whatever, gave up too many draft picks. You know what this GM is saying? Okay, I'm giving up draft picks in 26 and 27. But if I don't win now, I may not even be here in 26 and 27 anyway. So I have to go hard. This time is now. The urgency is here. Why? Because I have to win now. And this player that they're going to trade to me helps me win now. And the Cowboys get the draft picks and say, boy, our future looking bright. When have the front office ever said the time is now? The time is right now. We need to go get players for 2025. We need to win, or 2023 or 2024. When have they said that? Because what they're doing is feeding our fans the future. When we get to the future, whatever date that is, then they're going to move that date some more. So at some point in time, man, we got to go all in. And that's what Philadelphia is doing right now. That's what Green Bay is doing with the Micah move, man. They're going all in. But I'll tell you something. I was going back to that, what I read you about the cap manipulation. Let me take Jalen Hurts' contract and his cap hit per year. So his cap hit for 2023 was $6 million. 2024 was $13 million. 2025 was $22 million. 2026 is going to be $32 million, and 2027 is going to be $42 million. That's his cap hit. It has other things in here, but remember, they're paying his money up front. And his big cap hits are all in void years, and they're not even that big, to be totally honest with you. But let's go to Dak Prescott's cap hit. Now, Dak's contract is not apples to apples because it's not the same amount of money, but let me show you the cap hit. In 2024, the cap hit was $44 million. In 2025, $50 million. In 2026, $74 million. In 2027, $68 million. You see the difference in those numbers? So what the Cowboys want to do is write contracts, and what they do is they just divide. They do them like they divide them. Say if he signed a 240, they're really saying pretty much we're going to pay you $50 million a year, and we're going to let the cap hit because at the end of this, we're ready to get out of it. Okay, why would you spread that out, keeping his cap hit lower? I don't understand that. In void years, he only had one void year, and it's a $9 million cap hit. He has other void years, I guess it hadn't been put in there yet. But these things I don't understand how Philadelphia can do these things and I understand what I think it's Michael Gelkin was saying, but at some point in time, you have to manipulate the cap for the right now. And then just say, forget the cap in 2029 and 2030. I may not be here for that. And so, yes, the cap is real. It can be manipulated for the years that you want to manipulate it in. You will have to pay. But mind you, it's almost like if I wanted to go get a BMW and the BMW was $80,000 or $1,000 a month. Let's just say that. I don't know what they cost. But I can right now I can afford $800 a month, but I really want the car. But I know I'm going to get a raise, every 6 months. And eventually that raise is going to take me past that. So can I buy that car now? Yeah, I probably can. Now, will the first part be kind of tough? Yeah, I can. But eventually my salary is going to overtake that. That's no different than that's what the salary cap is. So right now, if we go back what the salary cap was 5 years ago, we probably look at the salary cap now and say balloon. Well, that's going to happen even more so. And I think 2029 is the year that all the TV contracts come back around again. So it's going to take a much bigger jump. Also with Philadelphia and some other teams, I think Seattle has done, and one other team, they've sold 10% to an investment firm, 10% of the organization. So if you're worth $10 billion, then you're getting $1 billion, but that's cash money. So what they're doing, they're turning over 10%, and that investment firm does not have any say-so about how they run their team. They're just a 10% they're a minority owner. But what that liquid money does is give you money to pay out bonuses. So you can pay the bonuses out early, get ahead of the contract, take a chance. Yeah, take a chance on it because guys may get hurt. But that's just part of the deal, man. And so they're doing that and paying these guys up front. So the guys are getting their money, and the cap hit remains low because I'm paying it out early. And that's what they're doing. I don't think the Cowboys are doing that. Looking at Dak's contract, this salary cap, we should never be under a $44 million salary cap, like a hit. That should be 21 or 22 if you're doing your salary cap right, if you're trying to win now. Another thing they talked about was, which some people have talked about, was the franchise tag. If I'm a GM, the franchise tag is like the worst thing I ever want to use. Why? Because the franchise tag counts dollar for dollar against the salary cap. Why would I ever want my tight end, my quarterback, my star wide receiver to count $35 million against the salary cap when I can spread that out with re-signing them? But the Cowboys have done that so many times. They did it to Dak twice. They did it to our tight end. They did it with defensive ends, DeMarcus Lawrence. They've done that a lot. And that's because they're not trying to win now. Other people, they'll put the salary cap on the franchise tag on just for negotiation reasons. And when they negotiate it, then they take it off and sign them to a contract. Because that would, to me, for team building, that would really hinder a team in team building. Or you have to say, hey, we're going to franchise tag this guy, but we're not going to be able to sign. What GM can afford to do that? No one can, but the Cowboys can. But it's still not the right way to build a roster because you have not, either you're going to commit to this person or you're not going to commit to him, but don't franchise tag him. It makes no sense. I think we franchise tag our running back also a couple of years ago. So these things they're just not financially feasible to do. So the Bland signing, it was a good signing. I think if you really look at it, it's the Cowboys' way of kind of, sticking it to Micah and then putting it on him, saying that he was a problem. Like they was trying to say Zeke was a problem. They've done this before with the signing. Like when Amari Cooper was gone, he's a problem. Why? Because look, we signed this guy. I think that's. I like the signing. I think the reasoning behind the signing isn't good, but I think the signing is good. I really would like for them to get Tyler Smith taken care of. He is the best guard in the league. We have to solidify that. So, but if you get him now. So here's the deal. Even Pickens, I'll listen to some people talk today. If you went to Pickens early and say, hey man, look, we want to sign you, we want to trade for you, but we really want to sign a contract. We really want it done. So what are you looking at? I don't think any NFL player, just by the nature of the game, is going to turn down a good offer and knowing that it's early. He might have took 25 to 27 million a year and just said, hey man, look, tell his agent, hey, this is a good contract. It's a year early. I can wait to get more. But I'd rather take care of my family and the rest of my life right now with this guaranteed money. And they would have done that. I think that was the way to go. I think you go to players that's going to be your cornerstone players before they get to the last year of their contract. So that's what the good GMs do because you save money that way. I've already know that I'm going to have this guy. So why am I waiting around to the 12th hour to do that? Why am I waiting for the agent to call me? Let me reach out to the agent and see what's going on because I'm trying to build my roster with the lowest amount of salary cap that I can use. And that's the way to go do it. You identify guys that's going to be the rocks of your team and do it. But I just wanted to get on here, Cowboy fans, to tell you about my views on a couple things today. Just tell you that, hey, all is not lost with the Micah trade. We've done some things before that wasn't popular, and we've done them for the wrong reasons, but they turned out right. Remember, this team is not so unlucky because, we've had two quarterbacks and only give two Pro Bowl quarterbacks, and we've only given up one fourth-round draft pick to get them. So we've been lucky before. Again, Randy Gregory, we were lucky with that too. So we've been, lucky and not trying to do the right thing happened. So it may be a case for that this time. We'll just have to see. Kudos for Micah for getting his money. We got 2 draft picks from it and a player. We're just going to continue to watch the team. My son was asking me, I'm trying to talk him off the ledge, but, and some other friends of mine saying, hey, this could work out. But we have to see. We have to see who they draft. This is one of those things you're not going to be able to tell until 2027 or even farther to see what draft picks we get. It can't be another Mozzie and Schoonmaker draft. I can tell you that, because we're going to be watching real close. One thing that this does is make the Joneses kind of step their game up, because they know that they're going to be compared to Green Bay and Micah. You know, if Micah's showing out there, they know they got to get a team up here. We can't go 7-10 this year. You know, so if they got to go get players at the deadline of the trade, they may actually go do it this year, because they don't want to have egg on their face behind this. So hopefully all these things play in our favor, and we can kind of start building this team. And I'm glad that the drama is out the house. And it's Micah. I want to call him the drama. I want to say that Jerry really brought that on himself by the way he approached this whole thing. But now Shotty can actually have his team and move forward with this team and build this team and be the number one guy. I know it's hard to be the number one guy in Dallas. Jerry wants to be the go-to. He wants to be the star. He wants to be, and he is the most famous player for the Dallas Cowboys. But hopefully Shotty can overcome all that stuff and take us to some places we hadn't been before. So anyway, that's it for me, Cowboy Nations. I just wanted to come and give y'all my quick opinion on that, and just tell y'all that, Thursday we'll see what we got, and Cowboys for life. Cowboy out.